Hello everyone, welcome you all in my YouTube channel. This is the third video of the series AZ-400 exam. Moving towards questions. Coming to the question number 21, you need to consider the underlying segment to establish whether it is accurate. To compile an Internet Information Services web application that runs Docker, you should use a default building agent pool. Select no adjustment required if underlying segment is accurate. If the underlying segment isn't accurate, select accurate option. Options are option A, no adjustment required, option B, hosted Windows container, option C, hosted, option D, hosted Mac OS. And correct option is option C, hosted. Moving towards next question, your company has Azure DevOps environment that can only be accessed by Azure Active Directory users. You are instructed to make sure that Azure DevOps environment can only be accessed from devices connected to the company's on-premises network. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A, assign devices to a security group. Option B, create a GPO. Option C, configure security in project settings from Azure DevOps. Option D, configure conditional access in Azure Active Directory. And correct option is option D, configure conditional access in Azure Active Directory. Moving towards next question, you are making use of Azure DevOps to configure Azure pipeline for project Part-01. You are planning to use a version control system that allows for source code to be stored on a managed Windows server located on a company's network. Which of the following is the version control system you should use? Option A, GitHub Enterprise. Option B, Bitbucket Cloud. Option C, GitHub Professional. Option D, Git and Azure Repos. And correct option is option A, GitHub Enterprise. Moving towards next question, you need to consider underlying segment to establish whether it is accurate. When moving to Azure DevOps, Jira must be replaced with build pipeline Azure DevOps service. Select no adjustment required if underlying segment is accurate. If the underlying segment is inaccurate, select accurate option. Option A, no adjustment required. Option B, repos. Option C, release pipeline. Option D, both. And correct option is option C, release pipeline. Moving towards next question. You scan a Node.js application using white source code. The scan finds numerous libraries with invalid licenses but are only used during the development. You have to make sure that only production dependencies are scanned by white source code. Which of the following is a command you should run? Option A, npm edit. Option B, npm publish. Option C, npm install. Option D, npm update. And correct option is option C, npm install. Moving towards next question. Your company hosts a web application in Azure and make use of Azure pipeline for managing build and release of the application. When stakeholders report that the system performance has been adversely affected by the most recent releases, you configure alert in Azure Monitor. You are informed that new releases must satisfy specified performance baseline conditions in the staging environment before they can be deployed to production. You need to make sure that releases not satisfying the performance baseline are prevented from being deployed. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A, you should make use of branch control check. Option B, you should make use of alert trigger. Option C, you should make use of gate. Option D, you should make use of an approval check. And correct option is option C, you should make use of a gate. Moving towards next question, drag and drop this question. You are preparing to deploy an Azure resource group via Terraform. To achieve your goal, you have to install the necessary framework. Which of the following are the frameworks you should use? Options are Yeoman, Fold, TerraTest, and Tiller. And correct option is Yeoman and Terra. Moving towards next question, you intend to make use of Azure artifacts to share packages that you wrote, tested, validated, and deployed. You want to use a solitary feed to release several builds of each package. You have to make sure that release packages that are in development is restricted. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A, you should make use of a static code analysis. Option B, you should make use of views. Option C, you should make use of dynamic code analysis. Option D, you should make use of upstream sources. And correct option is option D, you should make use of upstream sources. Moving towards next question, your company has an Azure DevOps project, which includes a build pipeline that makes use of roughly 50 open source libraries. You have been tasked with making sure that you are able to scan projects for common security weaknesses in the open source library. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A, you should create a build task and use white source code service. Option B, you should create a deployment task and use white source code service. Option C, you should create a build task and use chef service. Option D, you should create a deployment task and use chef service. The correct option is option A, you should create a build task and use white source code service. Moving to our next question. Your company has an application that contains a number of Azure App Service, Web App, and Azure Function. You would like to review recommendations with regard to the security of a web app and function. You plan to navigate to compute and app to achieve your goal. Which of the following should you access to make use of compute and app? Option A, Azure Log Analytics. Option B, Azure Event Hub. Option C, Azure Advisor. Option D, Azure Security Center. The correct option is option D, Azure Security Center.